Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Simo and this is 5x5. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button and that way you'll see when all my new videos come out. So we're back to talk Star Trek Picard again. It looks like this show is kind of come into a sort of off and on pace. One episode will be really cool and entertaining, and then the other episode, not much is really going to happen in it. So for now, I guess I'll pace my response videos and my recap videos based on how much happens in the episodes. If a lot happens, I'll do a video. If nothing much happens, then I'm not going to do a video for that. I think that makes sense. So that being said, this video is going to cover episodes 4 and episodes 5. Episode 4 being the episode that didn't have a lot going on in it. So now that also said, this video is going to be spoiler heavy. So if you haven't watched episode 4 or episode 5, please go watch them and then come back and watch this video. I don't want to ruin it for you if you're worried about spoilers anyhow. If you're not worried about it, then it really doesn't matter. So let's just get right into it. I guess we'll start with sort of a general impression. As the show has gone on, we're at the halfway point of the season for now. So you can kind of get an idea of what to expect from the show at this point and see where it's going and if you're into the show or not. And I'm having a little bit of a change of heart. I'm not going to say I'm negative to the show or anything like that. So far I'm a little lukewarm on how the direction of the show, how the show is going. I am liking the show, but every other episode being slow is kind of making it hard for me to get right into it. And I'm not entirely sold on the direction of all of the characters or all of the subplots and plot points. We'll start with episode 4 here. Like I said, not a lot happened in this episode, so it wasn't my favorite episode. Picard basically goes on a sort of side quest to pick up help. I guess he wants to get some sort of warrior monk type character from a Romulan resettlement camp. So he goes to this planet, I can't remember the name of it right now, to do that. And he picks up this little kid that he had helped resettle, I guess 15 years earlier or so. And this kid, his name is Eleanor. He's now all grown up. He's an adult and he's kind of hot, but that doesn't matter to anybody, I'm sure. But he looks like he's going to be the new chief of security. He's going to be the Romulan warrior monk chief of security. And in this particular Romulan resettlement camp, they have an absolute candor, which was the name of the episode, policy. So what that means is they tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, like unrestrained all the time. So they have no concept of deception, which, you know, if you're a longtime Star Trek fan, you'll know that the Romulan culture was all based on deception. So this particular group of monks that have this ideology, I guess, they're kind of a departure from what we've seen from Romulans right now. So anyway, Picard goes and picks up Eleanor, his new, effectively, Romulan chief of security. And that's mostly what the episode is about. There's not that much that happens in it. We do get a little bit of fleshing out of the relationship that Picard has with the Romulan people as a whole, which is actually a little bit interesting. There's a lot of resentment from the Romulan people towards Picard because they saw him as like a political savior in some sense, because he had made the effort to resettle their people during the supernova of their star system. There were some high hopes riding on him, and it looks like when the Federation abandoned a lot of Romulan people, a lot of them were disillusioned, which is pretty natural. So there's a lot of tension and sort of resentment towards Picard for these resettlers or settlers not feeling like he did enough for them, which is totally fair. So one other major thing happened in episode 4. At the very end of the episode, everyone is off to try and go to Free Cloud to find Bruce Maddox because they've figured out that Maddox is there. When they get their intel and they head out to Free Cloud, they end up getting into a bit of a scuffle with a really ancient Romulan warbird, and they get helped out by what looks like a passerby ship and they take out the Romulan warbird. That ship is destroyed. They beam the survivor of the ship onto the La Serena. The survivor, the pilot of that ship, is 7 of 9 from Star Trek Voyager. We knew she was going to be in the show, so we knew she would have a cameo, but here it is. She's arrived. Not too much else happened. I don't think anything else important really actually happened in the episode. Going into episode 5. This episode was much more interesting. A lot more happened in it, and it was a lot more fun too. When episodes like this happen, I definitely have high hopes for the show, and I'm far more into it compared to like episode 4. The episode starts off with a little backstory. We're finding out what 7 of 9 has actually been up to. About 15 years earlier, she's breaking into some sort of science facility where a black market Borg poacher, which we've talked about in a previous episode, is carving up people that used to be Borg for parts, for black market parts, because Borg tech is really valuable. Right away, the guy on the table, if you're a longtime Star Trek fan or a Voyager fan, you probably realized right away who this character was supposed to be. It is Icheb from, I think I'm going to say season 5, but don't hold me to that. No, not season 5, probably season 6 of Voyager. Part of the child crew of Borg that the Voyager crew had encountered. Icheb was the only one that stuck with Voyager. The others were all returned to their families. So Icheb had a special bond with 7, and here we see him. He's a Starfleet officer of some kind, and he's on the table getting carved up as a Borg by these black market poacher types. They are not being kind to him, and he's not enjoying the procedure. There is no anesthesia. It's really sad. If you're actually an Icheb fan, I kind of was. I had a crush on him when I was a kid. So it's a little sad to see him go and not kind of the original actor come back and do a cameo or something like that. But it's a nice cameo, and it's a nice Easter egg for Star Trek Voyager fans and fans of 7 of 9, of course, because this character did have such a good bond with 7. He had a very maternal relationship with 7. It's an important kind of backstory for her, and it lays the groundwork for the episode. Yeah, 7 comes in and finds Icheb getting carved up. She kills the people, the black market poacher types. Unfortunately, she can't save Icheb. There's too much damage that's been done to him, so she's forced to put him out of his misery and euthanize him. And that is devastating for 7. Obviously, if you had to kill your own kid to put him out of pain, or at least someone you view as your kid to put him out of pain, then you're going to be pretty affected by that. And that lays the groundwork for 7's character to sort of get us past from Star Trek Voyager to here. So next in the episode, the crew is trying to create an away team to recover Commander Maddox, or Bruce Maddox. I don't know what his actual rank would be. He's the Daystrom scientist that's responsible for creating the twin androids. And so they're trying to recover Commander Maddox, or Mr. Maddox, from Free Cloud, and they put together an away mission, and it turns out that the woman holding Maddox is also the same woman who was in charge of the black market Borg poachers that killed Icheb and have a reputation for poaching all ex-Borg. So this sets up 7 to have like her own personal vendetta against this woman and her own interest in being involved in this away mission, conflict of interest. They arrange the away mission, and of course, they use 7 as bait because she's a Borg and she has valuable implants in her, and that makes sense, sure. And the away mission goes as expected. Everything is smooth. They've got their mission going, and of course, you have to keep things interesting. So the mission goes slightly sideways when everyone realizes that the leader of the Borg poachers, her name is Bedazzle or Bedazzled? No, I'm pretty sure it's like Bedazzle. The leader of this Borg poaching team crew, and the woman holding Bruce Maddox is actually 7's ex. It's implied heavily that they've had some sort of intimate relationship, so I guess Chakotay's out. Sorry, bud. So yeah, they've had some sort of intimate relationship, and that throws everybody for a loop because no one expected that 7 would already have a personal relationship with this woman, and on top of that, she didn't bother to mention it. The mission goes a little sideways. They are able to successfully recover Maddox. That happens. That's not a problem. There's a little bit of action. It's, some fun sort of scenes. And afterwards, 7 does end up killing Bedazzle. She kind of doubles back after the away mission escapes. She doubles back, transports back, and then assassinates Bjayzl, and then leaves on her own and goes back to the La Serena. And she's talking, she does get a really nice moment with Picard, which is the kind of moments that I'm really looking forward to when I watch the show. She gets this nice moment where she asks him about his experiences recovering from the Borg, because of course they have that in common. And she asks him if he feels like he recovered his humanity after his ordeal. And he tells her, yeah, he absolutely does. But he also admits not fully. And they sort of set it up as it's a constant, like, daily recovery process, because we're talking about trauma. We're talking about long-term trauma. When somebody does anything that invasive to you, it was a trauma. It was a traumatic experience. So they're bonding over that. And it was a really actually like short but cool moment. As one of the side missions, while the away team was away on Free Cloud dealing with trying to get Maddox back, Raffi had her own little side mission. I have some complicated feelings about this subplot. Raffi is a really interesting character and I really like the actress, but I have complicated feelings about this subplot because I'm not entirely invested in the character's subplot, and I know that they're dealing with it, so we'll see how it goes. But at the same time, like, I'm kind of torn between I'm really interested in her conspiracy theory plotline, in which, like, she's clearly really good with detecting and noticing patterns, and makes her really good as an investigator, like some sort of forensic investigator. This plot was more about her finding her estranged son, reconnecting with him, but he rejects her, and it's really sad. It's really heartbreaking, but you still get some of the backstory about why he's got such a broken heart about his mother. It turns out that it's really because she was too invested and involved in her career at the expense of her family, and specifically the relationship she had with her son. So it's a pretty sad situation. For me personally, I'm not really interested in this story. I have to admit, it hits a little close to home for me because I didn't have the greatest relationship with my mother either. So maybe I'm a little biased, but I am really interested to see how they're going to tie it all up in terms of investigating the overall conspiracy, because that'll obviously be what her character arc is. She's going to be redeemed eventually when the conspiracy is all proven. She'll probably be redeemed, and she'll be able to go back to her son, a hero, basically a Federation hero, a Starfleet hero, and be like, see, yeah, it wasn't I'm not crazy, it wasn't a random conspiracy theory, it was all for something. I didn't neglect you for no reason. I'm guessing that's what's coming for her character and her subplot, though. Going back to the main crew again, they did recover Maddox from the away mission. Picard gets some one-on-one time with Maddox, and he does tell Picard about the second twin existing, because Picard didn't have confirmation about this yet, even though obviously us as the audience, we know Soji exists. It was only a suspicion for Picard until this point. So he does confirm Soji exists. He even tells him that she's at the artifact, which is the Borg cube that the Romulans have been excavating or reclaiming, or whatever you want to call it. So he's filled in the crucial plot points at this point for the story to carry on and for the narrative to continue. And we know that the crew's next stop then becomes the Borg cube and Soji. Picard leaves the scene, and Agnes, Dr. Jurati, comes up to Maddox while he's recovering, and they have a little bit of a sad moment while they're reunited, and it's very happy because they've had some sort of relationship. And unfortunately for Maddox, she then kills him. Surprise! So I called that one in my previous video. I didn't trust Jurati. I didn't think that her arrival in the previous assassination attempt scene back at Picard's chateau made any sense. Like, it was too convenient, and why would she have a disruptor unless she arrived with one already? There was no way she was going to actually fight a Romulan 4-1. It was suspicious from the beginning, and I'm glad that they didn't drag that out, because I'm betting that everybody else suspected the same thing, and this wasn't a huge spoiler for anybody. But yeah, it was confirmed, and there's some dialogue. It's a little vague, but she basically confirms that she knows way more about this the conspiracy and the true nature of the twin androids than the audience does at this point, or definitely that the rest of the characters in the story know. So we're supposed to, I guess, hang on until tomorrow's episode. We'll see how that goes. My call on Dr. Girardi turned out perfectly. We'll see how that goes. And that kind of wraps it up. So I personally like the episode. Like I said, I'm a little concerned at the pace of the season so far with these slow episodes and then good episodes, but we'll see. I am really hoping that the next episode isn't a slow episode and it picks up where this one, leaves off and keeps going. I would like that. We'll see how it goes though. I guess let me know what you thought of the episode and this video in the comments below. Don't forget to click like and subscribe and click the alarm notification button so you get notified when new videos are out. You know how it works. And I'll see everyone soon. Thanks for watching. Take care.